Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters. Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Good morning, viewer. Good morning, everyone out there. This is another edition of Inside Nigeria, and of course, welcome to the show on this Wednesday morning. The day is good and the day is bright. With me in the studio this morning is an Abuja-based journalist and editor of the Abuja City Journal, Remy Adebayo. Remy, welcome to Leadership Podcast Studio.
Thank you very much.
You're coming here for the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure to come to be around here.
And of course, as usual, we shall be starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. On the front page of The Leadership, in deadly onslaught, military takes fight to bandits den. In deadly onslaught, military takes fight to bandits den. Kill 70 in Niger. Surrender terrorists must face trial, says Army. Gunmen kill mother, 3 children in Benue. And of course, abductor of Niger Commissioner, APC chairman, demand 700 million naira. Remy, this is one story too many. But then one good part of it is that the military is actually being on its own by taking fights to the bandits den in Niger State and as well a forest in Zamfara, where they kill about 70 or more than 70, about 110, because there were 45 killed in Zamfara forest and another 70 in Niger forest. What is your take on this?
Thank you very much, Bode. I think the first thing to do is to commend the Nigerian military. Under the present crop of leadership, the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Army Staff, General Irabo and Farouk Yahaya, they have shown strong leadership. Not just them, I think the man at the Nigerian Air Force as well. You can see that what Nigerians have been clamoring for some time about collaboration among the security forces is beginning to yield some fruits now. Recently, when we lost a aircraft in the military guy that was that was rescued
In Zamfara.
In Zamfara. I mean, yes, that was the guy in Zamfara. You can see that the rescue of that officer, of that soldier, was actually made possible by the collaboration of different forces. The air component of the operations at the theater in that region. So I want to commend the military. And if you see further the story, you can also read a part that says that there is strategic measures to weaken the insurgents themselves. You know, a number of times people have said that, yes, we don't see what our military, what they are doing, we don't see everything. And now we are beginning to see. We cannot have a country that is surrendered to bandits. Whether we call them Boko Haram, whether we call them kidnappers or whatever that we call them. So, to me, killing 70 in Niger State. Niger has recently become almost like the hotbed of kidnapping in Nigeria. You cannot move freely in some part of Niger State in a country that has a president that has military. So to me, they have done very well, and this is commendable. We only ask them to up the game, to do more. This effort must not be relaxed. We want to see the military going further into the heart of
Taking
yes, they should take the fight to them more. This is what they have started, and I sincerely believe that this is what should be doing. These terrorists that surrendered to the military. Oh, I read the story, and sincerely, it's very heartwarming for me. Personally, because, like I said, they have tried to map out these people to understand what, could be said to be their lifeline. You cannot be feeding your enemies and expect them not to fight. But now, with weakening of their strong surrender, they are not tied around them now.
They don't have
access to food no longer. Some of them, they are diseased. We have the splinter group that said, no, we don't want to be entering into communities and be taking food away from people. Then, most importantly, the military is seriously dealing with them.
Now, Remy, one dramatic thing about these terrorists surrendering themselves to the troops is that yesterday we saw pictures, by the military, the pictures of these terrorists holding placard, asking for forgiveness from Nigeria. I didn't know why the military will have to stage this kind of a scene. But then, do they deserve our forgiveness after killing, more than 50,000 Nigerians since the insurgency was started in 2009? More than 50 Nigerians have been killed. Do they deserve forgiveness?
I remember that there is a Nigerian, maybe an African president or so that was quoted to have said that forgiveness,
it's left
for God. But how they go and meet God should be left to us. At this level, I do not think that.
No, I think it's heartwarming that the army authorities.
The army has actually said that no, they are not going to be left free like that. But we also remember that there's a policy of the federal government towards the de-radicalization of the,
so this is a
the
kind of contradiction.
The terrorists. So this a bit comes to kind of contradict what the whole policy is all about. But for me personally, if you ask me, yes, they can repent. I can forgive you. The former, the late Pontiff Pope John Paul once forgives a man that attempted murdering him. But the truth is that, does that prevent the law from taking its course? No. If you have killed illegally, you have killed, you cannot deny some people the right to livelihood, and you are saying, to life, and saying that because of that we should know. To me, I think that at the point of prosecution, they cannot ask for clemency. We can ask for amnesty. We can ask for a reduction of terms or anything or punishment that is due to them. But just saying that we are de-radicalizing them and releasing them to the communities, to the society as they are, sincerely, I don't think that's the way to go.
All right, let's move to the next newspaper, and of course, the sister publication of the leadership newspaper, The National Economy. On the front page of The National Economy this morning, $5.8 billion Mambila power plant suffers another setback. $5.8 billion Mambila power plant suffers another setback as China turns down Nigeria's $200 million loan request. Mambila power project has been in the news for many years. In fact, successive governments have promised to deliver the project, but up till now, it's looked like a mirage. Why are we here?
We are here because of what I would call unseriousness of our government. Now government is looking for 200 million naira to service a loan request. To service a kind of what do you call it, judgment debt.
Exactly, already.
That's mounting against us because of wrong negotiation, inconsistency in our policy. And now we are turning to China to secure a loan of $200 million. But they are saying, no, we don't have this money for now. Unfortunately, the company that was initially awarded this project, I think Sunrise or something like that of China, now got shortchanged and we have to pay a debt. That debt is aside from the money that we still require to build Mambila power project. So what are we talking about? We are talking about most of the time the way we go about our negotiation project. At times, how we come about negotiating or come about the policy when it comes to infrastructure. Mambila project is critical to Nigerians' power sector. And how can we be on the same ground for 40 years, 40 good years, and not just Mambila? We have a Dakota that is still lying there. So as a nation, how do we ensure that we are serious? How do we want the outsiders to see us when we take on all this? They will not take us serious. We don't have this money now. We are turning to China to grant us this request. And they are saying, no, we don't have it now. So where do we go from now? This jinx at the Mambila power plant, how long is it going to take before it's broken finally?
The jinx. And I think even though the hydro or the water is a source of clean energy, it's renewable energy, the hydropower is renewable, but then it is very, very capital intensive. I think it is incumbent on the government to think out of the box and employ other methods like the solar and the wind. Let's harness them to actually go into renewable energy in order to guarantee 24-hour power supply to Nigerians as promised.
I remember that there was a plan like that, maybe during in the previous administration, when a renewable energy and clean energy was introduced to the community here in Abuja, I think around Durumi or so. And it worked very fine in that those people were able to access power almost 24/7, I mean, in a week. And also, I remember that there was a time when inside one community here in Abuja, Koji local government, where an NGO from the United States took power, renewable solar power into that community to bring life into that community. But if the problem here is not that we do not have ideas, we have ideas, but how do we sustain most of these ideas? Power, solar energy is available in Nigeria. We have abundance of sunlight in Africa, in Nigeria. But why is it difficult for us to tap into this? So those are the questions we should be asking. We have a viable Ministry of Power in Nigeria. So what are they doing about that? Or why must it be around gas? Why must it be about hydro always? Why are we not tapping into other sources of power? We have coal in Enugu, although there was a time we heard about maybe environmental impact of heat or something like that from coal. But other countries in the world are still using it. South Africa is still powering itself with coal. What is wrong with us in Nigeria? Why can't we expand that and enjoy what we should give? How do we stimulate even our economy without electricity in the first place?
I mean, after security and business, let's move to politics. And the next newspaper this morning, The Guardian. And of course, on the front page of The Guardian this morning is a political matter, the PDP. PDP, Secondus survives, gets reprieve with early convention. Get reprieve with early convention. And of course, the PDP will be electing a new national chairman in October. The convention has been brought forward. Neck of the party to constitute convention, zoning committees next week. And Tamboa is saying APC lacks structures of a political party. What is your take on the whole of this?
Yes. Like every Nigerian is aware, the main opposition party, PDP, has gotten himself embroiled in controversies around what the fate should befall its embattled. Do we still call him embattled? No. I think it's now.
It got a
reprieve now.
A sort of soft landing.
Yes, which is Secondus. And what are they? They have some complaints. You can see some stakeholders in the party saying that no, under this man, our ranks are depleting. Under him, we have lost we have lost some governors, some lawmakers at the federal and then state parliament. And the truth is that a number of us had thought that maybe this man might not survive it. But I salute the courage of the elders of the party coming around to say, no, let us look for a political solution that will not hurt either party. Those that are demanding for its removal and those that are saying that, no, let us give Secondus a fair, what do they call it, soft landing. They were able to win that, a kind of a win-win situation after all. And I think for a party like the PDP, that to me is a good one. Uche Secondus is not going to leave out his term, which is supposed to end by December. He's going to have that abridged by 2 months. That is a kind of a spirit of sportsmanship on his part to know that
to save the party
from implosion. He has to do that. And one of the contentious issues, of course, is zoning arrangement in the party. Now, wherever the PDP zones is party executives to, we now determine how the party is thinking ahead of 2023. I think, Bode, you are aware of that. So those are the interests, and not just for the party executives. Also, it has mandated the executive, the new committee to be set up next week, to also look at the elective offices in that party. So how would they think, going forward? So the group has been, committee, the Nigeria PDP Governors Forum have been able to save a lot, and we should commend them and the structure of the party for that. The only comment I have a bit that I'm not too comfortable with, don't let me say I'm not too comfortable, that I find a bit mischievous, is that the APC has no, maybe has no structure. How do you say that the party that is ruling the country,
well, the
government
APC
party,
too, the APC too is facing one crisis or the other, and is it not surprising that at the same time, major political parties like the ruling APC, the major opposition PDP is facing crisis, and another opposition party, ABGA, which is an opposition party at the center and a ruling party in Anambra, is also facing some kind of crisis. Just few months to election. But then, I have somebody joining us to also, weigh in on this. The national chairman of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, ABGA, Chief Victor Oye, will be joining us shortly. We go on a short break now. When we come back, Chief Victor Oye will share his thoughts on the ABGA Dabaku. All right, we are back. Welcome back. Joining us now is the national chairman of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Chief Victor Oye. You recall, listeners, just yesterday, the Kano Division of the Appeal Court set aside a judgment by Jigawa State High Court delivered by Justice Ubale Omar, which actually gave the leadership of ABGA to Chief Jude Okeke. But just yesterday, the Appeal Court set aside that judgment and affirmed the leadership of Chief Victor Oye. And by implication, a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Professor Charles Solodo, becomes the governorship candidate of ABGA in the November 6th governorship election in Anambra State. And joining me this morning, of course, is Chief Victor Oye. Good morning, Chief Victor Oye.
Good morning, my brother. How do you do?
I'm fine, sir. I'm fine, sir. Welcome to Inside Nigeria at the Leadership Podcast Studio. It's our pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you very much.
Victor Oye, before yesterday specifically, newspaper report or media report were describing you as embattled national chairman of ABGA. But just yesterday, the Kano Division of the Appeal Court affirmed your leadership of ABGA. So how do you feel?
I've never been embattled. We were just dealing with crooks and political buccaneers who came to hijack our party. I'd always believed that God will grant us victory in the end, because I knew that the detractors, imposters were coming from nowhere. They never belonged to the party, and from the blues, they came to fight people with grace. Anyway, we thank God for everything. We thank God for the way it ended. We give him all the glory. When I appeared on Channels Television, I said it that God was going to resolve this matter his own way. We always place our hope and trust in him. Without God, there is nothing anybody can do about life. So we place our hope and trust in him, and we thank him for the victory he gave us yesterday. We are confident that INEC will do the needful today by publishing the name of Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo as the authentic candidate of APGA for the November 6th Anambra governorship election. So we thank all Nigerians for their support. We thank God above all for the providence, for the grace he has given us to wedge through this difficulty and come out unscattered. So we give him all the glory, and we thank the media for standing by us, especially leadership newspapers, for standing by us throughout the travail. And we pray God to bless every one of you for your contributions.
Chief Victor, thank you for your compliments. Leadership stand by democracy as a whole. Nigerian democracy, we are here to safeguard Nigerian democracy. Now, Chief Victor Oye, you talk about INEC doing the needful by listing your candidate, Professor Charles Soludo, as the rising governorship candidate in the Anambra governorship election. Of course, I know INEC will have no option than to obey the court's order. But then, you spent many weeks dissipating energy on a lot of litigations. How will you going to prosecute the governorship election eventually if your candidate is listed as the governorship candidate, given the fact that we have a few months to the November 6th election?
My brother, let me tell you the truth. The truth is that Abuga is the party to beat in Anambra State. Even if elections are held 20 times in 1 month, to win all the 20 times. That's the truth of the matter, because the party has delivered the dividends of democracy to the people of Anambra State. Go to Anambra State, you see a brand new airport, a brand new international conference center, 10,000 seater, a brand new international stadium, roads, water, health system, everything is moving for regular payment of salaries of workers. My brother, security. So if you hold the elections 20 times, we'll win. No party can beat Abuga in a free and fair election in Anambra State. No party, no other political party. It's the truth of the matter. Go there and carry out investigations. It's as clear as the day. So we are confident we'll win. Throughout the period of this crisis, unquote, we've been doing our businesses as usual, campaigning and trying to reach our people, keep them together, bring them together. We have sustained the channels of communication with our members. Now that the battle is over, seemingly, now all we need to do is to galvanize our people, and we move into the field and start our active campaign, electioneering. So there's no problem about it.
Are you not worried that, some political party may want to cash in or capitalize on your internal crisis to actually outsmart you at the Anambra governorship election? Are you not worried?
How can they outsmart us? I've told you that we're on ground now. These people you are talking about, they're not anywhere in the state. They're not on ground. That's the fact of the matter. An Anambra scenario should be able to tell other Nigerian political parties that it is always good to serve the people faithfully and honestly. If you do that, they will stand by you. Come rain, come shine. The people are with Abuga. We are not bothered about what has happened because we knew it was a flash in the pan. So it has come and gone, and we are continuing with our activities. We are not perturbed one bit about what had happened because we have our eyes set on the ball. We are focused on what we're doing, and we know by the special grace of God, we win that election hands down. All the people, all they have done was to distract us, but we have remained undistracted. We have remained focused in what we're doing, and I want to assure Abuga people that sticking together with that election and continue from where Obiano will start on March 17, 2022, to take Anambra State to the real next level. This incoming governor, Professor Charles Soludo, has the capacity, the mental, physical, and spiritual capacity to deliver the dividends of democracy to Anambra State and rewrite the history of that state. You remember that since P2B, Apoga, since P2B, to Obiano, and now to Soludo, Anambra has been on a steady growth in development. And we do not want anybody to distract us from that journey to economic blossom, economic independence, and to social stability, which this government has sustained in the past 16 years. So we hope that in another 8 years, Anambra people will enjoy the dividends of democracy as promoted by Apoga in its manifesto. So we are not distracted one bit. Their plans fail at the point of conception. It did not even materialize.
Chief Victor Oye, your rival, Chief Jude Okeke, his camp has actually promised to appeal the judgment of the Kano Appeal Court at the Supreme Court. And eventually, if the story turns other way, what will happen?
How can it turn the other way? He who goes to equity goes with clean hands. That is the law of equity. If you go to equity, go to with clean hands. What are they going to Supreme Court with? They went to Jigawa and got a bizarre judgment. Okay? We'll call it Jankara judgment, which the Court of Appeal in its wisdom threw to the dustbin. What are they taking to Supreme Court? To resurrect a dead child. The child is dead and I cannot be resurrected. What happened at the Court of Appeal it will be a worst case scenario for them at the Supreme Court, because the case is very clear. These people they are terrorists, they are impostors. They do not, the Judo KK you are talking about, I've never met him, I don't know him, I've never seen him. I've been the national chairman of ABGA for 6 years and 2 months. I've never met Judo KK. He's not a member of any arm of any committee of our party. It doesn't belong to World Committee, it doesn't belong to National Working Committee, it doesn't belong to NEC. It does not exist. It's an imposter. If it were in a developed economy, this guy should have been pulling his heels in prison. I'm telling you the truth, and that's where that man will end up eventually. Because what he did was criminal, unconstitutional, illegitimate. I don't know. You don't know what these people did. You're not supposed to give them publicity. You're not even supposed to mention this guy on your television. He's criminal. Don't mention him again. The man does not exist.
Many thanks.
He went on AIT and tried to hijack the party. And called himself national chairman. Who gave him that authority? I'm the national chairman of Africa. I was supposed to call the so-called NEC meeting. They went to a hotel at Zone 7, Gariki, banded together. National Executive Committee of the party. It's criminal. These people should be arrested immediately.
Thank you so much, Victor, for creating time out to join us at the Leadership Podcast Studio this morning. We have to allow you to go to attend to parties matter this morning. Thank you very much. Of course, Chief Victor.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
The All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's move to the next newspaper for the day. And of course, on the front page of the next newspaper, The Guardian, is still the same PDP matter we discussed earlier as politics.
So yes, I was trying to say something around the comment of the Sokoto State Governor.
Yes.
About us telling, I think it was taking a swipe on the APC as a party that lacks political structure.
Yes.
I found it initially a bit amusing that somebody could say that, but the truth is
just
that
politics. APC is
not
likely
just
to say
no.
the
It's
same
not.
thing
It's
about
not just.
PDP.
I don't think it's just politics.
Okay.
If you understand what the APC has passed through aftermath of the Supreme Court judgment that ruled in Ondo governorship election, the party seems to be in a quagmire now because there are no structures. When Tambua was talking about structure, there were no structure. The APC has no board of trustees, as we are talking today. No NEC, no NWC.
Oh, okay. You are saying Tambua is right.
I think it's right in a way because yes, because see, unless the PDP,
an interim leadership for more than a year,
the governors of the party have kind of saved the face of the party almost simultaneously as the PDP governor was saying the same thing today. APC must immediately go for a convention to have a leadership that is recognized by the law. Otherwise, the hint and the wink, like Barrister Babatunde Ogala will call it, that the Supreme Court gave it, could stand for against it in the future. So that's what Abua is saying. So they should not ignore it. They should work on that.
All right. Of course, on the last newspaper on our menu this morning is the THISDAY. Of course, on the front page of THISDAY is the same story we discussed on the front page of Leadership earlier about battle fatigue, leaderless 1,000 Boko Haram members who surrender to Nigerian gallant troops. And of course, look at the riders. Yahya, of course, is Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, the Chief of Army Staff, is urging others to follow suit and renounce hostilities, concerns over pampering of repentant terrorists. We talk about this army operation, is this safe corridor, where they are trying to de-radicalize repentant Boko Haram. And we have also other repentant now on their own, who they are saying they will face trial. So there's contradiction, some sorts.
We have said that, and let's just take, I think we discussed that earlier. We can just take a bit from the piece of the Chief of Army Staff, asking other terrorists to follow suit. I think that will be
so that we can restore peace.
So that we can restore peace, so that the nation can be at peace again, so that we can win our nation back, so that people can go back to their communities. so that we can have schools reopened in those communities again, so that we can free our IDPs. People should go back to their native homes. Yes. So that is what the chief of army staff is actually saying, and I think and I hope that the terrorists or the bandits will heed this warning and come back. You see, whether we are pampering them or whatever, we are not pampering. I think the army has cleared that yesterday. Me, I would like to see whether repentant or those that were captured in the course of the fight facing trials.
So victims of insurgency, victims of the atrocity, we see that justice is served.
That's the only way.
Many thanks to you, Remy Adebayo, and of course, Remy Adebayo is an Abuja-based public affairs analyst and editor at the Abuja City Journal. Also, many thanks to Chief Victor Oye, the national chairman of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, who joined us earlier this morning. To you out there, viewers and listeners, keep a day with us tomorrow for another edition of Inside Nigeria. And of course, I'm your regular host, Bode Gbadebo. Bye-bye for now.